Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Daniela Martinez-Serrano.
And I'm Willie Evans. Coming up on today's show, while the K-State football team was on the road at Oklahoma, that doesn't mean Bill Snyder Family Stadium wasn't rocking over the weekend. As
well as a visitor from the Riley County Humane Society and this week's weather forecast.
But first, our top stories.
The recent Ebola outbreak stemming from West Africa has killed more than 4,500 people and infected more than 9,000. But the United States has remained largely unscathed. Just 8 cases have been reported since August, and Forbes reports that over 80% of those infected in the U.S. survive. Kansas Governor Sam Brownback has ordered the creation of a special team to respond quickly to any suspected Ebola cases in Kansas. The governor's office is looking to come up with $4 million in emergency Ebola funds. Kansas has no known cases of the disease.
Encouraging numbers in the U.S., Daniela.
They are, and Channel 8 News reporter Morgan Hulsman is live on the set with people from the Mercy Regional Health Center with more on what you can do if confronted with a disease.
Thanks, Daniela. I'm here with Jana Bowman and Vivian Nooch. Guys, can you tell us, there are some new cases that have come up with Ebola in the United States. What are the kind of procedures and new training that Mercy is going through right now to prepare if Ebola were to come to Manhattan?
Well, we are revisiting our staff training, encouraging them to use personal protective equipment, doing additional screening calls before patients arrive. We are encouraging the public that if they feel like they have any kind of symptoms, the fever, the muscle aches, the vomiting, diarrhea, those kinds of things, and they have a travel history to any part of West Africa that's affected, Sierra Leone, Guyana, and Liberia, that they call ahead first so that and actually come to the emergency room rather than their physician clinic or one of the urgent care centers. Those clinics and centers aren't prepared to handle isolation patients, so they really need to come to the hospital. But even at that, we would prefer, if possible, they call, even if they're in the parking lot already, so that we can meet them at the door with the appropriate isolation precautions.
And what other disease or virus would you guys possibly compare this to? And, what's the likelihood that somebody could catch this?
Well, it's very communicable if proper precautions are not taken. I think, however, it has to be contact with a sick person's bodily fluids. So you truly have to have had connection with the disease itself and then become ill with it to be able to transmit that. So yes, it's communicable, but precautions can take care of it. I think that's been proven in the United States by those folks who've been treated and have eventually been able to go on home.
And I might add too, back on your training question, Mercy Regional Health Center is in a pretty unique position to be able to work with K-State's Biosecurity Research Institute and our peers in Wichita at Via Christi Health and Ascension Health, which is nationwide. So through all of our training, we're keeping communications constantly open with everybody. So it's not just here in Manhattan we have to address this. We have a lot of peers and colleagues that can help us. So.
And are you guys concerned that an outbreak might come here?
Well, one always has to be concerned when that kind of disease is imminent, but I'm very hopeful that the control measures that they've put in at the borders, both for those folks coming into the United States and then those that are already here, and then a heightened awareness by every healthcare facility in the nation right now, I think that we will be able to control it.
And thank you guys very much for being here with us today. Make sure to check out Channel 8 next week, where we have a nurse's take on the Ebola virus. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Morgan. Any information on prevention of the deadly disease is always appreciated.
Well, 18 U.S. states now have full marriage equality among genders, and another 29 have equality that is either pending or recognized same-sex marriage. Kansas is one of only 3 states without any form of equality in the marriage market. Kansas Governor Sam Brownback recently called gay marriage too liberal for Kansas as the 2014 election has come to a head.
Gay marriage has been a hot-button topic for decades, especially here in Kansas, with the October 6th statement from the Supreme Court saying they will not hear any more gay marriage cases. LGBT couples have been jumping the broom from coast to coast.
But not everyone has been given that opportunity. Channel 8 reporter Johnny Harvey caught up with a couple who were denied a marriage license.
Thanks, Willie. I had a chance to talk to one couple who have been waiting to legalize their marriage for over 19 years.
It's crazy. We dropped a quarter in a gumball machine, and a ring came out. And she dropped a quarter in the same gumball machine right after I did it. The exact same ring came out. And I said, well, I guess we should get married.
And after 19 years, K-State computer programmer Darcy Bonenblest and her spouse Jolene finally found a chance to make their marriage license legal in their hometown.
We talked about it, and then Thursday she said, I'm at work, go ahead and come and get me. And I said, okay. So I thought we were going to lunch together, and she said, you want to go to the courthouse? I said, sure, let's go. So this was not planned. I mean, we didn't plan on being the first ones or anything. We just went because we truly want to legalize this, because there's so many things that we don't have. I mean, just the rights that a married couple have.
Rights such as tax benefits, health insurance, and the ability to be by the hospital bed when your spouse is ill, an issue the couple has had to endure.
When we went in Thursday, we were very happy. We were greeted with open arms. The clerk was, they were very, very nice. And then Friday, I got a phone call at work that said, this is O'Reilly County District Court, and we have a court order here for you to pick up. And I was really confused, and I kind of knew what it was about, but she wasn't going to talk about it. It was pretty much, she called to tell me this, and okay, goodbye.
Although the October 6th Supreme Court ruling has made LGBT marriages legal within the 10th Circuit, the Kansas Supreme Court has put a stop to all same-sex marital licenses.
And when they handed us the court order, the girl turned around, she says, but we're going to keep your marriage license for a year, or your application for a year, in case anything changes. And I winked at her and said, it will.
While being legally married is very important to Darcy and Jolene, they know happiness is not found in a piece of paper. Same-sex marriages remain on hold until this Friday, October 24th, when court officials will judge if Kansas is immune to the Supreme Court ruling. Both Darcy and Jolene are hopeful and say they've told loved ones to prepare for a ceremony the day after.
Thanks, Johnny. Marriage equality, an ever-changing issue. Channel 8 will continue to follow the story as things develop.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to check in on a service helping students feel secure on walks home.
And later in sports, highlights from K-State's Big Road matchup at Oklahoma. Stay tuned to Channel 8 News.
It was a routine grain elevator inspection until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit, well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way. Wired magazine calls him the explainer. His students call him amazing. Over 20 million YouTube views show that Associate Anthropology Professor Michael Wesch is transforming higher education. Translated to more than 20 languages and counting, Professor Wesch's teachings still share one common voice: passion. And whether you're learning live or online, that passion is contagious. And that passion is one of the leading reasons Kansas State University is first among U.S. public research universities in producing U.S. Case Carnegie Professors of the Year. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Daniela Martinez-Serrano.
And I'm Willie Evans. After a recent uptick in crimes around campus, including an armed kidnapping and a violent assault in which a woman was physically struck while her assailants demanded cash near Juliet and Bertrand, K-State police are offering help for students forced to walk home during late night hours. Channel
8 News reporter John Zettenmeyer joins us now.
Thanks, guys. K-State police are offering Safe Walk, also known as Wildcat Walk, making it so no K-State student has to walk home alone.
The K-State campus, where there is always something going on when the sun is shining. Students walk around with their headphones on, hoods up, and heads down while looking at their phones. During the day, it's not as much of an issue, But what happens to awareness when the sun goes down?
Usually if I walk back from Hale, I walk back with other people, but I've felt pretty safe walking back from campus. But the only time I don't feel safe is when I start going this way off campus where there's not really very many lights.
The recent armed kidnapping happened just one block off campus. So what can students do when they're leaving Hale at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning after that late study session? Well, they can call SafeWalk. And what SafeWalk is a system put in place by K-State PD to help walk students up to 2 blocks off of campus at any time of the day. So Captain Don Stubbings of the K-State PD advises students to use these services as they go 24 hours a day.
So remember that if you decide to walk home late at night, call the K-State PD if you have any sort of fears about walking. If you do walk home alone, just be aware of your surroundings.
K-State Police strongly advise students to use SafeWalk. They're simply a call away by using the number 785-395-7233.
It's good to know that at K-State, students never have to walk home alone.
K-State Homecoming 2014 is officially here, and there's no better way to kick it off than the annual Pant the Chant competition. This year's event was held at Bramlage Coliseum. 14 student and Greek organizations prepared a minute-long routine using chants, claps, stomps, and props to showcase their school spirit. They also had to incorporate this year's theme of Wildcats Coast to Coast. And while the actual performances were very brief, preparations for these take longer than one might think.
We have like an hour and a half, 3 nights a week that we just learn more and more every night, and then, yeah, it takes a while.
The winners will be announced Friday at the annual Homecoming Pep Rally.
Another K-State homecoming tradition is Wildcat Request Live. Homecoming pairings come together to create a dance routine and perform at Bramlage Coliseum. Friday is the homecoming parade, where homecoming partners get to show off their hard work with floats they've created over the past several weeks. It all comes down to a head-on Saturday for the homecoming football game against Texas.
Now, Halloween is fast approaching.
Who doesn't like to dress up? And Channel 8 News reporter Dakota German traveled to the Sunset Zoo last weekend for a special spooky event.
I sure did, Daniela. This last Saturday and Sunday, the Sunset Zoo held its annual Spooktacular event, where hundreds of kids dressed up and hung out with some really cool animals.
On 2 mild weather days, Manhattan's local zoo saw a record-breaking 5,584 visitors over the entire weekend. The zoo was decorated in a Halloween fashion, and many families came out for some early trick-or-treating.
What are you, Haley?
I'm a vampire witch princess.
Olaf. We bought the dress online, but everything else we made at home, just like things you can find lying around the house.
I'm dressed up as Maleficent, and I got it from the movie. And I'm Leonardo.
The zoo's staff and volunteers were also dressed for the occasion and the family atmosphere that took over the zoo for this event.
Yeah, it's a great day for it, and this Halloween thing is awesome. It's an amazing thing for kids to do. We come from a community that's a lot larger than Manhattan, and they had tons of Parks and Rec stuff, and it's really nice to have that small town feel and still get the Parks and Rec stuff for the kids. It's great.
The animals did get some face time, but at the end of the day, the kids are there for their one true favorite thing of any Halloween event.
I'm getting the candy. Getting candy?
There, you having fun?
Getting candy, of course.
The candy.
You can check out more events for the whole family at the zoo's website at sunsetzoo.com.
It sounds like you had a great time as well.
I did, Daniela. And like you said, who doesn't love candy and zoo animals?
We're bumping up against another short break.
But keep it with us. A visit from the Humane Society and more are coming right up on Channel 8 News.
Look at me. I'm so cute and cuddly. I'm also very charming. I'll tell you what you want to hear and sweep you off your feet. I'm also spontaneous, maybe a little erratic at times. I take risks most people wouldn't, but that makes me fun. I'm also very persuasive. I can convince you to do something you'd never dream of doing. And you'll love my stories. I usually stretch the truth a little bit, but you'll believe me because I'm such a good liar. I'm never wrong, and I never feel guilty. I always win, but just look how cute and innocent I look. I can fool you, your parents. I can even fool your friends. Trust me.
Powerful ideas are sparked by a natural curiosity. It could begin with a single seed or a brilliant ray of light. At Kansas State University, it begins with research that advances the world, where science and creativity meet. At Kansas State University, powerful ideas begin with you.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Daniela Martinez-Serrano.
And I'm Willie Evans. We're joined now by Channel 8's own Lindsay McNary and Jessica Meekins from the Humane Society.
Jessica, who do you have with us today?
This is Cody. He's a 3-year-old lab mix.
Oh, okay, perfect. You said that he was 3 years old. Have you guys had him since he was a puppy?
No, he actually was pulled into our program from a shelter at an adult age. He's only been with us about a month or so.
Well, I realized how well behaved he was. We got to spend a little time with him before we did the interview, and I quite enjoyed it. What are some events or things coming up for the Humane Society that you guys are up to? I mean,
well, we're always looking to have fundraising opportunities so that we can finance caring for the animals that we're adopting out. We have a couple of give back nights scheduled here at some local restaurants coming up in the near future. And then our major holiday event is called Santa Paws, where we actually have photography done with Santa Claus and your pets.
Oh, how fun.
So that's another fun one we have coming up for the holiday season.
Oh, neat. And you can check out your guys' website for where to find those give back opportunities, correct?
That's right. Yep, it's rchsks.org.
Perfect. Now I have to ask you, can Cody here do any special tricks?
Well, I think he's a little camera shy, but there's his
there's one.
We were trying to get that to happen before we were on camera, but that's basically all he knows. He's got a really mellow, sweet personality, and he's very eager to please, and so I think he'd be very, very amenable to training.
He seems like a very, very sweet animal. Last question I have for you. If, say, someone wants to get involved with volunteering with the Humane Society, how would they go about doing so?
Actually, we have all of our forms for volunteering as well as fostering on our website.
Okay.
We're looking for volunteers of any type of capacity, but we're always needing foster families. We don't have a physical facility, so we rely on our foster network to help us save more and more animals.
Okay.
So fostering is always something we need for volunteers.
Okay, well, thank you, Jessica, for joining us. Thank you, Cody. And Daniela, Willie?
It's always nice to get a visit from our furry friends here at Channel 8 News.
Weatherman Johnny Harvey joins us now for a look at what's going on outside and the 5-day forecast.
Guys, it's a gorgeous day outside. Did you see those leaves earlier? That clear sky, that warm weather.
I sure did. It was a really nice walk coming here.
Made it very exciting coming to class today. Now, as we look outside, we're going to see if it's just like that, or if the weather. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yellow leaves, those green leaves hiding there in the back. I think I saw a berry tree earlier. As we come back inside, we're gonna look at the national weather map. Over on the west coast, up in Seattle, we have a low 59, but as you move to the south, you can see LA has 82, Texas, Dallas with 83, right here in the motherland, 80. Over on the east coast, up in New York is a little bit colder, but as you move down to Florida, we have 80. As we continue to look at the national weather map, you can see Seattle, classic Seattle, rainy, down in LA, cloudy. We have that cold weather moving down into the Utah area, Nevada, here in the motherland, nice and sunny. But as you go out to your Broadway productions today, be sure to take your umbrella because it's going to be a little rainy. And down in Miami, it's going to get some storms. Now, as we look right here in Kansas, we can see that over on the west side of the state is going to be 73. Down south is going to be stormy, some lightning storms moving up into the middle of the state. On the other side, Kansas City, 72, clouds. But as I said right here, in Manhattan is going to be 80 on the 5-day forecast. As I keep pointing out, guys, it's going to be 80 today. It's going to be nice. Go outside. It's going to be some clouds, but it's going to be warm. That's going to continue up until Friday, and then going to continue up until the weekend where we have our game day. So you can put away those coffee mugs and just enjoy the weather. Back to you, Daniela and Willie.
Nice weather for Halloween. I'll take that.
Yeah, me too. So what do you plan as dressing up for Halloween?
I plan as dressing up as Mrs. Pac-Man.
Well, hopefully you won't have any ghosts chasing after you. But up next, a look at sports. Stay with us.
There's the lob, and Foster with the throwdown.
For behind-the-scenes access and up-to-the-minute news, get connected with K-State Athletics on social media. Search K-State Sports to join the conversation today.
Powerful ideas are sparked by a natural curiosity. It could begin with a single seed or a brilliant ray of light. At Kansas State University, it begins with research that advances the world, where science and creativity meet. At Kansas State University, powerful ideas begin with you.
K-State Student Radio brings every game to K-State fans on the Wildcat 91.9.
Line's going to take a pitch out to the right. Hubert dices his way up and into the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw deep over the middle of the field for Tyler Lockett. Catches it. 15-10, 5, touchdown, Kansas State.
For all of your K-State sports coverage, tune into the Wildcat 91.9.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Paul Cannon joins us for sports after a big Wildcat weekend in Norman, Oklahoma.
It was a big weekend. Head coach Bill Snyder's number 14 ranked Wildcats on the road in a battle with Oklahoma, who they beat in Norman in 2012 with a Big 12 title and playoff berth on the line. We pick it up in the first quarter. Jake Waters from the shotgun finds Glenn Kronkowski over the middle and wide open, fooling the Oklahoma defense as he grunks his way in for the 62-yard score to tie it at 7. After the Wildcats down the punt inside the 1-yard line, Danzel McDaniel picks up, made it with a big play, intercepts Trevor Knight as K-State takes a 14-7 lead over OU. OU responding with a 47-yard bomb of their own to top threat Sterling Shepard, tying the game at 14 early in the second quarter. But the resilient Wildcats respond with a passing of their own, with Jake Waters finding Tyler Lockett for the 9-yard score to regain the lead. Picking up in the game in the second half as K-State leads 24-17, Blake Bell, the Wichita native, hauls in a short touchdown to even the score. Then DeMarcus Robinson, the Wichita product, who finished with 66 yards on 8 carries late in the third, runs for those 38 of those 66 to set up another Wildcat score. Jake Waters falling his blockers in for the 4-yard score. That puts up the Wildcats 31-24. But back come the Sooners, up an 0 until a trick play ends in an interception right into the waiting hands of Morgan Burns. The Sooners with their last chance, but Michael Honeycutt, not feeling so sweet, misses the go-ahead field goal as K-State holds on to win 31-30. Now to volleyball, Susie Fritz and the number 22 ranked volleyball team, despite dropping a three-set match to the number 2 Texas Longhorns on Saturday, moved up in the rankings from number 25. They play host to Oklahoma at Ahern Fieldhouse on Wednesday at 7 p.m. The Wildcats have won 2 of its last 3 matches against the Sooners at home. By the way, the Royals game 1 of the World Series didn't go as planned, losing 7-1. James Shields only lasted 3 innings, giving up 5 runs as Madison Bumgarner, his counterpart for the Giants, pitched very strong, Willie.
Yeah, I think most teams would take an 8-1 record in the playoffs, but
absolutely.
Even though K-State was on the road over the weekend, Bill Snyder Family Stadium was still rocking.
That's right, Daniela. Some of the finest high school marching bands from around the state participated in the Central States Marching Festival. Channel 8's Trent Ferguson was on hand for all the commotion.
Fancy hats, shiny horns, and big drums highlighted the performances of over 40 high school marching bands on Saturday. At 8 a.m., fans filled the parking lots around the stadium, preparing themselves to march in front of parents, fans, and a panel of judges. With short clinics on fundamentals in the morning, the bands learn from premier marching specialists from around the country.
It's been really cool to play with them because they know a lot more than we do, and it's awesome to get that like college experience because they've been doing this for a lot longer than we have. So it's nice to know, like, to get their advice so that we can be a better band.
As well as advice from the pride of Wildcat Land.
Being able to just kind of see all of the band students, they're really excited. It kind of gives you a sense of like pride being a part of the K-State band, just being able to help out and volunteer. You know, we don't get paid to come out here and help them out. We're doing it because we want to.
While the football team was beating Oklahoma, KSU marching band director Frank Trace compared the festival to a football game in Manhattan.
The festival benefits all of us, K-State, the K-State bands, it benefits the students, it benefits the staff, it benefits Manhattan, right on down. It's like a football game. There's a lot of money that comes through town. There's a lot of potential K-State students that come through our door, so we have a chance to impress upon them what a great place this university is.
Bands were judged on repertoire, performance, coordination, auxiliaries, and other musical qualities. 7 out of the 42 schools received the highest possible ratings.
Drum majors, is your band ready?
Today, my favorite part was I'm the drum major for my band, so conducting my band and seeing them perform so awesome, it was great. It was really fun to do.
To cap off the day-long festival, the Kansas State Marching Band performed their Beatles tribute. Along with an appearance from the professional quintet, the Boston Brass.
The Central States Marching Festival is an annual event sponsored by the Casey Marching Band and the Kansas High School Athletics Association.
Now be sure to stay tuned.
We'll be back with Channel 8 News.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat, study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count, especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in on Channel 8 News. Join us next weekend for another edition of Channel 8 News.
Don't forget, you can find Channel 8 News on Facebook at Channel 8 News KSU and at Channel 8 KSU on Twitter.
And as always, I'm Danielle Martinez Serrano.
And I'm Willie Evans.
And thank you for joining us at Channel 8 News.